It was good.
Okay, I think we might be on. Let me go ahead and see.
Yeah,
Just
so it's live.
yeah, just give us a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually, I have to share it in the group first. So
Okay. So we're just live on Be Live.
we're live in the new grad PT mentors page. So everything we're
Got
saying,
you.
people are
So
listening.
now you're just sharing.
So now I just gotta share this out. Anyone watching right now, thank you for your patience. This is our first time doing
No
this
one's watching.
so no one's watching. But it's okay.
Technical
They'll watch it later.
Yeah, replay it.
Okay, cool. So
New grad PT
All right,
publication director step down.
all right, we're good. I think we're good. Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Hey, we're good. I see it.
We
All
are
right,
live.
cool. We're live.
We're live.
right.
We're live, folks.
All right. So, six-figure PT community, welcome to Winning Wednesday with Dr. Austin Wynn. We have an amazing little interview conversation today with our good friend, Dr. Austin Wynn, and we're here to answer your questions as well. So as we run through questions with Austin about his new grad physical therapy experience in the last year, go ahead and drop questions below, and we'll answer those questions too. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I want to thank you, Austin. Thank you, Angel, for being here. And for everyone watching, thank you as well. Anyone watching the replay, if you have questions too, just comment below and we'll go ahead and address those in the next live. So let's do this.
Yeah, for sure. First off, tell us where you're at right now, Austin.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on. Super excited to talk about all this great, interviews, questions that many people have. I'm over here in San Diego, California right now.
Nice.
And I've been in Miami, the past 17 years. So after I graduated, I decided to move out here to California, San Diego. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
And
how do you like it out there? Isn't it beautiful?
It's good. It's actually, the weather here right now has been pretty hot. So it kind of seems just like Florida, like around the summertime. So it's pretty hot and sunny outside.
Yeah. Is it as humid though as Florida?
Yeah.
No, it's different type. But definitely you still need AC. Now you need AC.
Yeah. What so what does your daily life look like right now after, I mean, you're a year out. What does it look like? What are you doing on a daily basis?
All right. I guess before I answer that question, I'll kind of give the whole background of like how I was doing everything during school, and then how things look like right after school, and then now, because it's been a year that I've been out already, and then we graduated. So kind of
give what happens. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
A year already.
A year already. That's insane. Yeah. Guys, time flies so fast. So learn this stuff quick.
Time flies when you're burning out. No, I'm kidding.
No.
you could be burned out, and I could see how you get burned out. But the fact is that I know we aren't going to be burned out, and I know I won't be burned out because everything I'm working for has an end goal. Because if I was, if I didn't, if I don't know the stuff I know, and if I wasn't working towards certain goals, I'd be coming home, working on documentation, and then look forward to the next day, do the whole 9 to 5, do more documentation, and then hate to do all the paperwork and be like, crap, you know what? My hands are getting tired, my fingers are getting tired, which happen on certain days, but I'm not feeling like that because I know that's not the end of
to digress a little bit that's how I was feeling less than 6 months out of school. I was exhausted, physically exhausted. My hands were getting tired. So my thumbs were killing me. All that ART, active release techniques.
Save your thumbs.
Save your thumbs. Side note, right? But yeah, I mean, you're obviously, and we'll go into this more in depth, but you're working on a few side hustles, a few side projects that are setting you up to maybe not in 6 months, maybe not a year. It takes time, but basically you're setting yourself up so you don't have to trade time for money eventually. Whether that's in 6 months, a year and a half, it doesn't matter, because that's where you're going to end up at, which is amazing. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and let us know what's going on.
All right. Okay, so for those who don't know, I went to school in Florida International University, FIU, right in Miami, right? That's the only college I've ever went to and applied to. In undergrad, I did nutrition, did the whole route, became licensed, a registered dietitian, and then I started PT school. During PT school, I worked as the personal trainer, dietitian, and then
Oh
boom.
yeah, I saw you in the gym all the time.
Yeah. I was
Training
like
during PT
hustling
school,
before
yeah.
school, during school,
Yeah.
and then now after school. But you got to keep it
Yeah.
up. So the things people told me I couldn't do, I did anyway. I made sure it worked out, right? So I worked during school. I had like 2 jobs, freaking passed everything, like all the courses, all the classes, all the exams, made it happen. And now it's like, okay, new grad PT life. You got licensed, right? Like you passed the NPTE. Like now, what do you do? Well, before then, on my last year, I already had like the goals in mind of like which direction will I go. And it's like, because you're thinking, at that point, like, wow, okay, I'm a physical therapist. Like now I could finally like treat and I could make some money. And how the heck am I paying my loans back? That's everyone's biggest question, because you'll be like, 100, 150, 200, maybe more. Like I've heard those numbers. And so you're thinking, okay, maybe travel PT, do this, keep traveling around, still turning my time for money and all that, which I thought about that before, but that things change, and I was dating like my girlfriend. We're doing long distance for like about a year in San Diego. And then this is where all my family's from. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to move there, stay in one place. And while I'm staying in one place, I have a big advantage of actually like, building my empire locally and staying put, not being distracted too much of like moving around, hopping around, and then I'll go ahead and build my empire there and start it off. So pretty much I kind of set things up like right before I graduated. So after the exam, I had like a interview set the day after like I moved to California. I pretty much went there, got to see the facility, meet the owner. We hit off really good, really well. I got hired. So boom, I moved here, got hired, started a PT clinic, but not just any PT clinic. Pretty much, I would say, like, I really feel that probably the best situation I could be in as a new grad. Like, why? Because of the flexibility. And I know there's an end goal in mind, and it's not like clock in, treat, clock out, and do it all over again. Because eventually, like we talked about, your hands get tired, your fingers get tired, which as a new grad has started, to already. But, I know there's an end goal in mind, so I won't be doing this like, for the rest of your life, which is fine if you want to do it, right? But then if you're kind of feeling stuck and you realize that, oh man, this may not be like what I want to continue to do, because how long could I do this physical job, right? Like at what age? And also on top of that, how many hours is it going to take you to like pay your loans off? Like, like how many hours you got to put into clinic each week if you're capped out at 40, like do the math, right? So what ways can you, like, what things can you do to accelerate that path, and then like leverage everything you got? So that's where I'm at this point.
I have a question for you. What were some of the questions you asked your now employer to really sell you on the job? Like what were the questions you asked that you were like, oh yeah, he's great, I'm gonna go for it, and like that really sold you?
Yeah, so that's a good question actually, and I want to add something else too, because the ad that was posted said some specific things that you were looking for, and it actually matched really nicely with what you were trying to do. And the only reason you got hired, I believe, is and you can go ahead and explain like what the whole job entailed.
So to make a long story short, right, the clinic owner was looking for a PT who was business minded, someone who had some of that experience or had that thinking and thought that way. Because how does a clinic make money? With business, you gotta know how like things work and like how things run. Yeah, you bring money to a clinic by treating patients, but there's also other ways. Yeah. So there's other ways to bring in money. So basically, it was more of an ad looking for that type of person, and I pretty much fit that description, like perfectly. We blended well, and that's how I made an edge and set myself apart from like the other PTs, because that was more the role the clinic owner was looking for.
And you couldn't have done that if you didn't have the skills that you learned, right, in the past year and a half.
No. I would say, like, I don't know when it started, but always sort of had like a entrepreneurial side like to me, right? Like I mean, even undergrad, like I worked in restaurants for the longest time, right? I was like a sushi chef, And then in undergrad, I opened a restaurant, you know, Jasmine Sushi and Thai. You guys have been there right across the street from my college. Right? It's been like 5 years now, but my family runs that now. But if I was running it, like it would totally be different. But I pretty much, you know, like starting from there, as I was working in restaurants and things like that, I started thinking like, oh, wow, I would like to have my own place one day. So it started from there, and then it was no difference as I went on and got in PT school, like, and all that. So
you saw an ad and you saw what you liked. You liked what you saw, right? And so from there you went into the interview already knowing, okay, sounds like this is what's right for me, because you wanted a business, kind of put business into the practice, not just your skill set and your degree, right? So now, what kind of questions did you ask along those lines? For someone that wants to be an entrepreneur or business owner, like what did you what were those types of things for you?
All right. First of all, I'm gonna back up just a bit from that question, because the first thing before me seeing an ad, there was certain things that I did. So you want to have the right mindset first and know what you're looking for. So once you start thinking that and asking yourself those questions, then like the world and how the way things work is kind of odd. Like it just opportunity just presents itself. So first of all, I already knew what I wanted to look for, and before the ad was put out, I actually contacted them like a couple months before the ad was even out. But the email somehow got lost and it wasn't seen. But you know, that gave me an edge, because it's like, okay, who emails and contacts a place looking for opportunity before an ad ever goes out?
Yeah.
So you gotta be really creative with the process. So
that spam mail got you. Right.
That gave me an edge. And so I already knew what I was looking for, and I saw the ad, and then that's when like things like worked out. So if you already know what you're looking for, and I didn't want to just do a regular staff PT job, because I'm like, well, you hit the ceiling like pretty quickly, or like it depends. So you have to start off like on the right foot, like during the interview, during the first time you meet the person.
Yeah.
You said your email got lost. Now, what did you do to follow up with that when you didn't hear from them?
Well, during that time, it was like, okay, get ready to pass boards. So it's like, okay, while that's like pending, I'm still, I'm going through that process. And eventually after I saw the ad, that's when I replied to the ad and said, hey, actually, go look back at this email like 2 months ago. You'll see my same email address. It was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. All right. Yeah. You're not lying. You're telling the truth. Like, I saw the email.
Yeah. And I think a few things that you said were key, but ultimately it also, it comes back to like figuring out what you want.
And what you want.
If you have to figure out what you want from the profession, from your personal life, and what that's going to look like in the next 3, 5, 10, 15 years. And then figure out maybe how you can get to that point sooner. And once you figure that out, you have to decide what skills you have to learn, or what mindset you have to develop to be presented with those opportunities. Otherwise, you're presented with that same opportunity that you had, but if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have those skills to back it up, when you go to interview, you have nothing to show for it, and you're screwed. That could have been an opportunity of a lifetime, but now you lost it. And even if you do are pretty good at pretending to know what you're talking about, it's going to catch up to you, and they'll figure it out pretty quickly. So you set yourself up. You did the work prior to that. That was a big part of it, the follow up as well. But like, people shouldn't get it twisted. Like, you were doing a lot of different things for the year before that.
Yeah, you got to set yourself for success. And like you said, time eventually like exposes you. Like, do you actually know it? Do you not? Like, I can give you all the questions in the world, but if you don't know what you want, like, what use is that to you? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, none.
Got it.
None.
You got it.
So it starts with that. Like, you got to know what you want first. Have clarity and have focus towards that. Absolutely. And one quick, tip of advice, since we're on the whole interview topic right now, is when you're going to that interview, don't ask questions for only your benefit. Like, ask about the clinic. Like, how could you add value to them? Not the other way around. So
right,
that's key. So we'll just leave it at that. I know you guys had other questions for me.
Yeah.
So was it regarding the interview?
Yeah. So we had a few questions. I think the next one was something that you wish you knew, like your first year of PT school. Obviously, we have a lot of new grad PTs, but we have some SPTs, student physical therapists, and also we have a few pre-PTs. So I thought this would be a good question to like show people like the things that you wish you started on maybe earlier on in your physical therapy career that would have maybe put you in an even better position than you're now. So is there anything that you can think of that would have set you up for that, or that you advise people to start doing now or ASAP?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess I would say I wish I knew the potential
Mhm.
that you can
Yes.
have in the field
Yeah.
before I actually got out, because you go through your internships, right?
Mhm.
It's like no matter what setting, you're trading your time for your money. Yeah, you're helping people out. It's good, right? But ultimately, like, what's your goal? And I realized, later on that, oh wow, I'm gonna have like a ceiling, and I won't be able to like, pass it or like climb on top of it unless you put in what, like 10, 20 years of your life of like doing the same thing and getting the same, paid. Maybe you get raised, like, who knows, $1 a year, if even. So it's like, no, it's like there's got to be other ways. And so if I knew that potential, it would have changed my mindset early on. And knowing that you could do more with your degree and with your knowledge than what you think. And then I would have started set yourself up for success earlier in the beginning and work on those side hustles versus you're out of PT school and you're working and you're trying to do that at the same time. That would save me. So
a lot of time.
The mindset, knowing the potential.
Could you go into more detail on the more that you can do with your degree as a physical therapist and not just be like an employee? Go into more of that.
Okay. So like so I was for one quick example is like, I was personal training during PT school. And I loved it. I love training my patients. But then if I knew that, okay, I don't have to be one-on-one with everybody. I could do more things, like one-to-many, and I could save myself time and have more benefit of maybe doing something online, doing some coaching sessions, right? Or like, being more social in social media, right? Going, Instagram, whatever it is, kind of like promoting yourself and getting yourself out there and known more as a professional beforehand. So by that time you're ready and like people know you're a trustworthy person and someone knowledgeable to go to for like certain things, us as physical therapy versus waiting until the end. Kind of like, getting the exposure first. I could have been doing writing more content, like none of that stuff even went through my head at all.
Never. Yeah. Honestly, like through PT school, and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way. Well, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I had a lot of free time, I think. I was studying a lot. But there's times where I could have been doing some things on the side that would have set me up pretty nicely, like as a new grad PT. A lot of different opportunities that are out there. I mean, you see people like, I'm sure a lot of you follow them, like the prehab guys. Like they did all that while they were in PT school.
While they're in school.
If I would have known that, like if I would have seen that, I saw that maybe like 2.5 years in. If I would have known that my first year, I would have been doing the same thing. Like I'm learning this stuff now. Let me just record these videos while I'm learning it, teach people, and then just put the content out, and that would have been great in itself. Like you're building your brand that way.
Absolutely.
The best time to start something, whatever it is that you're waiting to start on, was yesterday. Really, the second best time is right now. So if you're holding back on something, go do it. Just do it. Find some help if you need it. Find some mentors, and they'll help you through the journey. But just do it. Just start.
Yeah, it's never the right time. I've always said, I'm going to wait till this or I'm going to wait till that. It's never going to be the right time.
Never.
So you just got to pull the trigger and like do it. And it's going to come back to you. You're not going to lose out on it. You're not going to, go into more debt or anything like that unless you're not wise about it. Let's be clear on that. But if it's something, like you want, go for it. Like I wanted to get TPI certified because I treat golfers, right? I was talking to a friend who's also a physical therapist, and I was like, it's really expensive, blah, blah, blah. He's like, it's always going to be expensive. It's never the right time. Just jump it. Just jump the gun, go for it. And I'm like, you're right. So I'm doing it.
It's never the right time.
Yeah, there you go.
But today is the best time.
Just like having a baby. It's never the right year. You're never going to be prepared for it, You just got to do it, and you learn in the process, and that's.
You heard that, Javi?
I love that quote though. Like everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. once you jump and make that decision, the hardest decisions are the best ones. Once you
Yeah.
get over that,
Yep, they are.
they set you free.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
having a
true.
mentor was so key for me. And then, you know, my mentor taught me a lot. And then I became a mentor. And now
Right.
I have a bigger mentor. It's like even mentors need mentors kind of thing.
Everyone,
It
everyone.
never ends. It
Never
never
ends.
ends.
Never.
My mentor probably has a mentor. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, it's the way to go. You have to have that support and that help
Yeah,
to really get it.
definitely, definitely. So Austin, like, what current projects are you working on now?
Um,
I know there's a few of them.
yeah, there's a few. I would say the biggest, thing I am working on right now and staying focused on is I'm creating, well, first of all, in the clinic, we're going to be starting a nutrition program, more of like a weight loss program for patients going through physical therapy. And it's fine because I'm licensed, registered dietitian. So even if people have certain medical conditions and all that, I've had experience in it. I'm able to help them out. And I also have my community of registered dietitians that me and another registered dietitian friend have been working on. So if you go on Instagram, registered dietitian approved, that's our brand. That's, the community of registered dietitians we're building and bringing up, and pretty much going to impact the PT profession and help out dietitians as well. So I've been on both sides, both ends, and I know how things are. But the patient is going to win at the end. So I'm starting, a prototype at the clinic I'm at. I'm able to do it, right? I've presented that idea to the owner. He's all for it. So now it's like, oh, I don't feel it's the right time. He's like, oh, what do you want to do it? I was like, oh, okay, kind of like I'm not ready yet, right? Like all my ducks aren't like in a row. And it's like at this point, it's like screw it, let's just do it, and then throw me in the fire. I'll figure it out. Like throw me in the water, I'll swim somehow. Then I'll work out the kinks along the way. So
Exactly.
I don't feel like I'm ready, but I'm like, all right, screw it, let's just do it.
Just do it. That's
Let's
it.
do it. Exactly. The right
Imperfect
time is
action.
now.
Imperfect
Yeah.
action. Yep. So that's one of like the side hustles, right? And it's like coming out your first year of school. Who's gonna let you do that, right?
I love that you're doing nutrition. Obviously, you're a dietitian, right? So you have that background. I feel like as physical therapists, we have that background as well. But like that goes hand in hand with physical therapy, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And I hate when they say it's out of our scope. It's really not. But if they're gonna go for that, it's whatever. But I'm glad that you're doing that and like using your other degree for that. That's really cool. And
yeah, because
I'm gonna follow that page for sure.
Do it. Registered dietitian approved. So basically, the thing is like, all right, I went PT school. I had nutrition dietetics during undergrad, and then you had to go through a year-long internship and do rotations just as you do in physical therapy. So what most people don't realize is the depth and amount of information and things you actually learn in nutrition that most people take granted for and think they know it all because they eat, so everyone has an opinion. So the thing is, there's a massive difference. People from the outside could look at physical therapy, be like, or like personal trainers, when I was one, is like, oh, I know how to do that. I see some videos. I could do some moves. I could tell them to do that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
PT is easy. But when you actually go through it, you're like, oh, shit. Like, you don't realize how much things you learn. Neuro, cardiopulmonary, meds and all that. And you're like, oh, wow, I could actually do more harm than good if I didn't, go through this educational process. So same thing on nutrition. It's like people from the outside don't really know what you learn, like diet, medication interactions, medical nutrition therapy, when they're like, okay, they think they're doing the right thing, they want to help the person out, the patient out, but in fact, in reality, you didn't learn all the necessary information to be able to give practical advice. So it could be like same thing. Like once again,
That's
a
true.
personal trainer could be like, oh, hey, I'm a rehab specialist, come to me, I know rehab exercises, and it's like there's a big disconnect there. So it's like, all right, the best.
You're
I know
the
we want to help
expert.
everybody out.
You're
It's
the
like
expert
give
in
the
it.
person to the right expert.
Yeah.
So if like at my clinic we have a personal trainer, right? And actually, I knew him before I got a job, and he kind of like told me about it too. So that's like another story. But whenever something comes to him and it's sort of outside his scope, and it's like, oh, you're injured, but instead of like kind of going around about it and stuff, like here, just go to the PTs, work with them first, and after you're done, you can work with me. And same thing with nutrition. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give you some tips for both sides, but if something's kind of like crossing a line or it's too much of like a hassle for him to put the time in, or he doesn't have the necessary education to do that. It's like, oh, here, go see these people, and then the patient wins. So that's what I'm building here.
That's a great point, because I have patients all the time that want, after they're done, they want a nutrition plan or whatever. Would you be willing to write up plans for other practices' patients, and consult with them, kind of be like their dietitian consultant?
Yeah, so I mean, like, that's what I do, and primarily what I'm working on right now is I'm building that bridge. So whichever patients need some nutrition consulting, any nutrition interventions, I have a community of dietitians who can easily do that, and I'll connect them to the right expert based off their niche or their specialty or what the person has. So once again, just like as you're a PT, you only have so many hands and like feet to work with, right? Like, I only got so much time, so there's only so much time I have like treating, and then things on the side of like consulting. So now what I'm doing is I'm building a community that could have a massive impact on like the patients. So that's like a win-win. So that's what you always want to look for.
So come to you when my patients want to plan a nutrition plan. I'll just come to you. You tell me who to go to.
You come to me, and I'll tell you who to go to. I'll tell them who to go to. I'll pair them up with whoever they need to be with, and we'll work the whole thing out. As simple as that, right? You just keep in touch like with me, and you have like a team, right? So it's like you're collaborating. Like, collaboration is key.
So an interdisciplinary team, yeah.
Exactly. Like, how much could you like I talk about nutrition with my patients all the time. Like, sometimes we'll have random conversations, but it's like, man, in that 1 hour session, like, really, like, how much time do you have to talk about everything? Like, you want to help the person out as much as you can. Like, I get it. Like, everybody does, but you're like limited with time, and it's like the best thing is like we have like multiple people in the clinic and disciplines who could help like patients out. So it's like, you know what? Spend time with this person. You spend this PT time just with me, and we're going to work on the end goal, right? Like, there's no way I can do everything at one time. Like, no way.
Impossible.
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 So true.
Cool.
That was a good conversation.
I love it.
That was a really good conversation. Because now, like, I have patients asking me all the time, and I have a great idea on nutrition, just being in the healthcare field. But an expert, I want to go to the expert, and to have my patients go to the expert is gonna like build that rapport with me much more. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like the cool thing about the clinic, like I'm at, like, once again, it starts off with like, what do you want? What's your goals? And it's cool because we have like massage therapists, we have acupuncturists, we got the PTs, we got the personal trainer. It's like, okay, so like, say dry needling was okay here, and I learned through that. I could be like, oh, here, I could do this for you. I could massage you for the whole hour. Like, oh, I also could do dry needling. I could do this.
You don't have all that time, though.
No, it's like, here, just go to these people, which they do, because I'm like, we collaborate. And it's like so much easier, so much better. They have so much trust. Like, oh, yeah, this was great. And like working with a team approach, like you got more people.
Exactly.
Like, your case.
Yeah. It's very smart.
Yeah, it works.
That's a smart clinic for sure.
Become an expert at one thing, and then team up with other people and that are experts in their own thing. And that's a collaboration right there. Now you're sending people to each other, and it works so well. It works so well. Really niching down is going to be the riches are in the niches, right? So focus on that one thing that you can like master, become known for that, and then build that team around you, that support group, that team where people trust you more when you tell them, hey, listen, this is what's going on. I know how to solve it. I have this solution for you, and this is the person you have to go see to get that solution. And they love you so much for that. So much. Just make the decisions for them. That's what they're there for. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Just tell them. Show them what it looks like.
And as a physical therapist, you can't wear all the hats. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have the time, number one, and you don't want to have the time. You're going to burn yourself out so much quicker if you do it that way. So,
be careful what you wish for.
Refer out to your team. Get a good, credible team and refer out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
So Austin, like, obviously you're working at the clinic. You have all these side hustles going, which is amazing. It is work. You're hustling. I know you're hustling. You're creating that course. You're doing several different things. But but it's all leading up to something. You know what you want, and you're doing what it takes to get there. A lot of people think they know what they want, or they know what they want, but they're not really taking the steps. They're not really doing anything to make it happen. So there's a big difference. Execution is everything. So I want you to give the new grad physical therapists who are watching this, and even everyone else who's watching this who's not a new grad physical therapist, your number one piece of advice as a new grad PT. What should they maybe be doing? How should they be thinking? What should they be looking for? What would you say to that?
So if I had to give one thing or one piece of advice, I would first start off with saying start with the end in mind. Because if you know what you want in the end, everything that you're going to be doing from this point on is going to lead you there. But if you don't know what you are working towards or what you ultimately want in the end, then your road is going to be quite long, going back and forth. You're going to zigzag to whatever goal, right? Like question goal, because you don't know what that goal is. So if your goal is continue working, right, and you love treating patients, then keep on doing that. You shouldn't have like any problem. But if your goal is kind of like, all right, I want to break that, PT salary ceiling and do anything I can possible to achieve that, to help me with paying my loans off, or say you like traveling, or you don't want to put so much of your time like in a clinic, like what is your goal? And if you know that goal, then you can start working towards that, and you're going to start asking yourself questions that you never like thought about asking before. So that's the one piece of advice. And once you get that, the second piece of advice is
bonus
to keep going, like keep that flame like on, right? Like think about it. Those last 3 years of PT school, you're grinding, you're studying all the time. If you're working like me, you're doing that. You got so much stuff going on. It's never really like break time or vacation time. Keep that up. Like in addition to knowing what your goals are, you're gonna get there even faster. Because if you're like, oh, like I won, like that's it. Like I've achieved my lifelong goal, and there's nothing else I have to strive for because I've got what I wanted most out of life. Then like the way things are gonna go for you is gonna be more on that slow, steady pace to like wherever, like wherever that road leads you. Not because you wanted to go there, it's because life just took you there. So know what you want. Focus, momentum, vision. There you go.
Yeah. So you would go find your why, make goals, and then grind it out.
Know your end goal. Yeah.
There you go.
Grind it out in the beginning. Okay, so this is, I want to just very quickly, because grind it out in the beginning. Hustle. You're gonna work hard.
I'll give you a bonus number 3.
Yeah, go. You want to go first, or should I finish?
I'll just finish off right now. Bonus number 3.
Go.
Find a mentor.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's so true.
Find one and get one.
Yeah. No, it's so true. So it goes back to grind and hustle, yes, but begin with the end in mind. So if your goal is financial freedom, if your goal is to travel, your goal is to spend more time with your family without having any restrictions or someone telling you what to do, start with that in mind. Because yes, you can start your own practice. You can do all these things. But if you don't figure out your exit strategy or a way to leverage people, leverage assets, all these things, leverage money, to pull yourself out of that from the beginning, if you don't have that plan from the beginning, it's going to be really hard to do it once you're in the mix. So you start getting busy, start seeing a lot of patients, you're making a ton of money, but you're stuck. Now you don't have time for all the other little things, the marketing, hiring someone, actually building that business, working on the business, not in it. So that's a place that a lot of people get stuck in. And if you have that plan from the very beginning, you're gonna do really well. And just keep that in mind, that you don't want to be, and of course, we all want to treat and take care of our patients with everything we have, and you're going to do that. However, to treat more patients, to impact more people, you need that team that we were talking about. Once you build that team, you train them on how you want things to be done, how you think the patient deserves to be treated, and how their care should go, and they will do it for you. And at that point, now you have the options. You can treat maybe 5, 10, 15 hours a week if you want to, maybe even less. But at the same time, now you have the option of, hey, you know what? This week, I'm going to hang out with my family. I'm going to go on vacation. And actually, you know what? Maybe not make it a week. Let's go for a month. Options. If that's what you want, you have to start planning these things right now. If you don't, it's not going to happen. It's just not. Start with a plan.
You don't want to be a solopreneur. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeding off entrepreneur, but solopreneur, we're all going to start that way, right? But you need to shift that mindset to business owner and then eventually CEO. So you go through stages, and you're going to always go through stages. But solopreneur is where you start, but you got to learn the process and shift your mindset to get where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's the process. And another thing I want to touch on is when we talk about finding a mentor, we're not talking about your boss in the clinic. We're talking about a business mentor. So, you know, people always hear, a mentor for new grad, you know, are you going to give me mentorship? No, we're not talking about that type of mentor. So
yeah, and I mean,
clarify that.
Yeah, and you can't. So you can have that. You can have a clinical mentor, but that shouldn't be the only type.
Yes.
You should have a mentor for every aspect of your life, and that could look like many different things. It could be a friend that you admire, that you look up to, that you see like, wow, like they really have it made in this area of their life. Like, let me learn from them. Let me figure out what they're doing. Finances, relationships, business, physical therapy skills, all that, whatever it is that you're looking for, someone can help you get it faster. So that's the point. So I right now have two mentors that I speak to on a consistent basis. One is more of the business marketing guy, and I learned so much from that. And bonus, relationships. He has an amazing family life. So I'm getting so much from that. We actually talk less about business and more about relationships and family and taking care of the people, serving you right. Second mentor, an amazing guy as well. He's more clinical. I'm in the clinic with him on a daily basis. He's teaching me the things that I need to learn to give my patients their best chance of getting the outcome that they want.
Yeah.
Taking care of them, going through that patient experience with them and making sure that they're happy throughout it. And when they're not happy, figuring out what's going on, figure out the problem and show them that it takes time to get to what they want, but show them that we're going to get them there. It's just a matter of time. So
you just got the best of both worlds, you know?
Yeah. So, but the point is that everyone can have it, because if you have that mentor in the clinic, you can have a mentor outside of the clinic.
Just depends what you're looking for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. And you know, like kind of piggybacking off that, I could say I have the same thing, kind of like same setup right now as Javi. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. So if clinical mentorship is something that you want or something that you find value in, then the place you're going to be working at or, you know, getting hired at, those should be one of your questions. Those wasn't really one of mine, you know, maybe last on the list if I did ask, but that's like what's automatically given to me right now. And I could definitely take advantage of that, and which I have been. And I'm so thankful and grateful that it's like, oh, okay, wow, like now, you know, the clinical mentor can kind of piece things together for you and help you out during the clinic. And I still have that, still have access to it. And if I have any questions or I'm confused about anything, like I could get help on that. And so it ultimately depends on like what you want. You know?
Exactly. It depends on your vision for yourself in the future and your goals.
So that's why I said start off with that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. You're right.
Time goes by quickly.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of time, it was like 40 minutes we've been on?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So
go ahead.
So does anyone have any questions? Anyone that's on here for Austin, Angel, or myself? If you don't have any questions now, that's completely fine. Just ask us in the comments below and we'll address them in a live later on.
What questions do you have? Let us know.
What questions do you have for us?
It was awesome. Thank you, Austin, for
coming thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Is there any way that people could find more information about you and what you're doing? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to connect me on Facebook, just look me up, Austin Wynn, RD. Okay. Or you could find me on Instagram. My direct one is Dr. Austin Wynn. Or you follow my page, Registered Dietitian Approved, on Instagram, and you'll see everything that I'm doing and, you know, what I'm about. And go ahead and connect with me, and I'll be happy to chat with you guys.
Awesome.
Well,
we'll be speaking soon, for sure.
Yeah.
Got some people to throw your way.
All right. Hey, stay winning.
Yeah.
Win. All right, guys.
That's right.
Have a great
All
night.
right. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, guys. Nice chatting. Bye.